Good morning, Road Tom. I do like how they pop out to greet you. It's a nice greeting. Before you get in, Johnny, please help with cat relocation. Yep. Thanks, buddy. Yeah, the crew is out here ready to pave this road last night, and then that storm was coming in. So I told Johnny I thought they were going to send them all home, and it looks like they did. I mean, not their fault. They were here. The cop to direct traffic had showed up. They were ready to go, but the weather just didn't cooperate. So when I got in Road Tom this morning, the mileage was 220. So that's about 40 miles less, approximately, give or take 5 miles per hour, where Ruby charges to at 90%, but still plenty of charge to get through your day. And yeah, I'm gonna take the bump a little slower this morning. That bump's pretty nasty. Plenty of mileage to get through your day. I could certainly make most days, almost all days, with that mileage and leaving the heat run or the air run. So it's a substantial amount of daily driving miles at 90%. It's 74 out there, and I've got to look up the weather forecast for today, but we have at least a level 1 risk, and possibly they said it was going to be a level 2 risk of severe storms again today, but they would be here late, like after 6 p.m. So you know, hopefully we can pick up Ruby a little earlier than later, because 6 p.m. might not be a good time to pick her up. The sun is coming up, and right now it's looking like it's going to be a pretty day. Just like on Ruby, I was able to raise the suspension to get into the church parking lot. I've been here about 10-15 minutes playing Pokemon, mostly on Ruby's account, clearing a bunch of field research. I got Johnny dropped off 7:15, 7:20. Really good time, no problems this morning. Tesla opens at 8 a.m. so I'm not expecting to hear anything too super early this morning. I'm going to be heading back to Fuquay and back to the house here in a minute. I'm sure, I feel fairly confident I'll be picking up Ruby later in the day for the weekend. So like I said, hopefully I can leave home early enough to go get her before I pick up Johnny, but if not, I will pick her up hopefully after Johnny. I'm super appreciative of Tesla to let me drive this Model S while Ruby's in the shop. I don't take having a loaner as entitled to it, or you know, Tesla better give me one. That's not the way I feel about it. I'm super appreciative. Glad they made it available to me, and you know, like I said, very thankful to have it. Pleased they could do it this time. Certainly would always love to have a Tesla loaner while Ruby's having work done, but I understand that may or may not always be possible, and I'm just really glad it worked out this time. I wanted to say that my opinion of older AP1 Model S's has changed. I think last week, if a friend had asked me, should I try to grab up AP1 Model S, or should I try, if they're assuming they're shopping for a used Tesla, or should I really spend the extra money and get an AP2 or 2.5 Model S? Again, we're talking used. This car drives great, and there's plenty of battery in the 85, and I was thinking in my head, what is missing that I would, you know, between an AP, this car, or AP2 or 2.5 Model S, a newer Model S, and I don't have blind spot detection. So if blind spot detection is important to you, you'll have to have an AP2 or higher car. Because again, as we discussed yesterday, there's no camera in the B pillar, therefore the camera can't see. There's no camera to see cars on your side. This car is not going to do navigate on autopilot. You know, I won't be able to turn on the turn signal under autopilot and have the car change lanes for me. That's not going to happen with this car, again, because there's no camera over there on the side. This is a different AP technology than AP 2 and 2.5. So, you know, prior to this, I heard everyone that has an AP1 car say that they thought it was just as good, if not better. That was a little, yeah, unfortunate. You know, that the autopilot is great. And I'm going to have to say that the traffic aware cruise control I've been running, this car is stopping for stop cars. It's staying in it. Well, I'm steering, but it's working just like Ruby's traffic aware cruise control, which is what I use most of the time because I'm mostly on surface streets. I really couldn't fault the autopilot in this car in any way. If you're a person that's just gotta have navigate on autopilot, then you're gonna need a higher level car, autopilot car. But if not, then this car's fine, and it does do autopilot. It stayed in the lane on 401 South heading into Fuquay yesterday afternoon just fine. It's got suspension, and you know, it's missing some games in the arcade, but then so is Ruby. Ruby doesn't have Beach Buggy 2. And this car won't have that either. But that's all right. The person that would have this car would want to pay, I think it's $350. Don't quote me on that. To upgrade from 3G to LTE probably. That would help with map drawing and navigation, I think. I know that Mike Subasic had Light Runner upgraded from 3G to LTE, and I think he's glad that he noticed some improvements, and he's glad with that. It probably speeds up the browser a little bit if you're doing stuff on the browser. I haven't tried to do anything on the browser in this car. But anyway, I think this would be a solid car for somebody looking for a used Tesla. My opinion has greatly improved driving this car around. I like it so much I'm going to be sad to return it. Not because I want it instead of Ruby, but I would totally love to have this car as our second Tesla. Would be just fine with me. Of course, as soon as Model Y deliveries start happening next year and everybody's getting their Model Y, I'm sure I'll be all over that too. You know what I'm saying? But between now and then, which is like probably over a year away, a year and 3 or 4 months away before we would want to take delivery, unless Elon's early. Elon, could you be early this time? That would be really great. You could break your record, your trend. You know, I'm sure I'll be all on the Model Y bandwagon. But in the meantime, this sure would be a nice car to have access to driving a few days a week. You know, what makes this work for me over the Model 3 really is the liftgate in the back. Because, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I pull up to the school, I put the car in park, I make sure the doors are unlocked. Johnny hops out, I'm pressing the trunk to open. He grabs his book bag. He either presses the button to close, or I do, because I'm watching in the rearview mirror. I leave. It's a very smooth go through the carpool line car. The Model 3, when we had Sapphire, and I dropped Johnny off a couple times with it, you know, he's got to get out and open the trunk, and then when he's got his, well, the book bag's mostly on his back. He's not usually carrying, well, he's got his computer maybe in his hand, but you know, he had to touch the paint, or preferably push on the license plate to close that trunk. And I just hated that. It slowed us down. It just wasn't smooth. I like to be smooth with the Tesla. You know, I would say anybody that's going through the carpool line with any Tesla, but particularly an X or a S, you should pull up someplace that's under no pressure, like maybe a closed business or something where you can pull up to the curb and practice with your kid a time or two and make sure you've got the screen and the center down what you're doing and the kids got what they're doing. And I mean, I did that with the boys when we first got Ruby. I was like, it was right before school started, and I wanted to make sure we had it down what we were doing, because you know, people in the school line, they're like really wanting, most of them are on their way to work and they're ready to be out of the carpool line. So, you know, just practice once or twice. Make it so you're smooth when you pull up and you're loading and unloading passengers. I do see traffic data up here, and this is the Pokemon that Johnny renamed the car for, Rotom, and it has a bunch of forms. I just thought I'd make sure I explained what was going on there. Michelle gave Johnny a stuffed version of this guy, I think, for his birthday or Christmas last year. It's not currently available in Pokemon Go, but hopefully soon, because he's pretty cool. But he's an electric type Pokemon. It's been a while since I visited this mural. I thought I would stop in and get a picture of this pretty white Tesla with it. You can see more of the mural with the S because it's lower to the ground. It's kind of cute. That he's no longer going to do suspension for the Model 3. And I gotta say, for folks living in the city with a car that's pretty low, I don't know how you live without it. I just raised this S back up to very high so I can safely get out over here without doing any damage. This is, I don't know if you can tell or not from the camera, from the video, but this is a significant drop here, and I wouldn't want to go out of this on low. By the way, Earp Seafood, where I just came from, very respectable place to go get seafood for a party or something at your house. They bring it in fresh from the coast every day, and it's known around here as kind of the place to go for seafood. It looks like the light up ahead might be on flash, might be out, and also there's a pretty bad accident. That's a shame. Hope everyone's okay. I'm home, and Gray and Slater quite happy to see me. Aren't you, sweetie pie? You too? Yeah. The humidity feels like it's about 100% out there, and it's starting to get intermittently cloudy. I never did hear if they raised the severe weather threat to a level 2 from a level 1. But as soupy as the atmosphere feels today, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm on my way to pick up Johnny, and I'm still waiting for final word that it's okay to go get Ruby afterward. And I played with the 360 stuff I shot this morning near the Earp Seafood mural, and, you know, watched a lot of videos today because I actually didn't fall asleep, and, you know, just chilled out and relaxed for a while at home. It's already 2:08, and I have hit every stoplight on the way to downtown today. Every one, I promise. I've got Johnny and Ruby's ready, so we're gonna make our way back over to Tesla and pick her up. So the music video for this song starts with a guy looking real cool exiting out of the middle row of the Model X. It's really cool, and I like the song. We're here, and there's Ruby. I'm in Ruby. Let's take off and see how she does. Oh, I can already tell that was pretty smooth. Do you hear that? I do believe it's the sound of silence, minus the whir of the electric motor, which I can actually hear again because Ruby is quiet. There's no squeak. Wow. Oh, that's great.
There's sapphire.
I don't know that that's sapphire.
I think that's sapphire.
It could be sapphire. We learned that sapphire is still up here, and that certainly could be. If you got out and looked at the VIN, I'd be able to tell you for sure, Johnny. Hang on. So I'm on uneven ground here, making a turn. There's no squeak. It sounds so quiet. I'm so happy. Thank you, Tesla. Yay! I can enjoy my car again. Let's see what the VIN on this is, because I learned that sapphire really is still over here. And that is a Performance Model 3 with white seats. Yep, there she is. I haven't heard one squeak. Not one. You know, I hear the standard 73 mile per hour road noise. But not one squeak. I'm so happy! We're almost back to the house, and I have not heard any squeaks. None, zero, nada. Now this railroad track here is pretty smooth, but still, let's listen. Not one squeak, yay! She's so quiet again. I'm so happy. Johnny's headed off for his testing in his spiffy new black belt, 2nd degree black belt, actually uniform. Looks good on you, buddy. Well, the good news is all the way to town to drop Johnny off, I didn't hear any squeaking. I'm still leery, you know, just because it went on for so long and I was hearing it. I'm just scared it's going to come back. But really, I'm not hearing it, so that's great. And I think we've passed, you know, Tesla had 3 different techs drive the car today. 1 looked like it was on local roads, because, yeah, I looked in Tesla-Fi, and 2 were out on the 540 so they could get her up to speed. They're like 5-mile test drives, which was good because the problem, you know, after being jacked up doesn't resurface right away. So I really appreciated them being that thorough. And they all, you know, signed off that it was a good fix. So what they did was they replaced the left upper control arm, the matching one for the right side that was fixed earlier. And I guess there's some thought that maybe if one's replaced, it really probably is prudent to change both of them to begin with. Obviously for Ruby, that was the case. So that was the conclusion of what the fix was. And I'm sure in a day or 2 of no squeaking, I won't even remember there was ever a squeak, right? Let's hope so. But she's quiet, and I couldn't be more thrilled. And I really appreciate Raleigh's service, fixing her, making things right, keeping me updated, and all those other important Tesla owner things. So we've got thunderstorms coming in again, and I'm tired, and I don't want to drive Ruby in the rain, and I need to run into PetSmart, and I don't want to have to walk in the rain possibly. So
well, it's a chance of severe weather,
right?
It's not just, you know, she gets wet. She's gonna get wet this weekend because it's gonna rain Saturday and Sunday, but it's not gonna be severe weather. The front's moving through. The temperature's gonna drop.
Right, tomorrow is supposed to be in the 70s here in gorgeous. Wow, look at those clouds, Donnie.
Yeah, well.
Anyway, Don's tagging along to go get Johnny and to help me run my errand at PetSmart. It was already thundering out there, and I'm tired, and yeah, you get the gist. And then I get to listen to the Boy Racer exhaust.
That's right.
Just when I got one car quiet.
Right.
So Johnny passed. He's back there, and we're gonna let him get a Carmel Cannonball Small Blizzard I guess that could be in honor of Kyle's record-setting cannonball, EV cannonball run there. Every time I see cannonball now, I got to think of Kyle. But yeah, Don and I, we're both down 10 pounds, so unfortunately no blizzard for us.
No.
Poor Donnie. I walked away and I was going to leave the door open. Johnny was confused with the S today too. He's like, Mom, you usually do the door for me. Totally understand.